Hello, I'm Andrew Eales and welcome to the Piano Day Out studio. This is where I do my teaching day in, day out. But today, rather than having a student here, I'm joined by my good friend Nikolas Sideris, who is here to talk about Editions Musica Ferrum, the publishing business that he founded 10 years ago. So welcome, Nikolas.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you, Andrew.
Always good to spend time and catch up.
Finally,
So 10 years, what an achievement. So much has been achieved in that time. So, first of all, congratulations on the anniversary of that.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
But let's rewind back to 10 years ago. Why did you decide to start this?
The main push, the main prompt was for me to find a way to promote and show my music in good light. So I began by thinking that I should print proper scores for myself and everything. And then I thought, if I'm going to do it for myself, I might as well take my friends as well. And from friends it came to people I knew, and then it became to people I didn't know, but I loved the music. So that was it felt like a natural step.
The network grew, as it were, from that original few. So your very first publication was your own music, as you say, sketch music, and this book contains a bunch of pieces, but instantly, as I look at this, I see it's got some rather remarkable illustrations in it as well. So can you tell us about this book? And
this was among the first batch that got printed. We printed 22 different scores from 6 composers.
Right.
And all of them were concert hall level difficulty.
Right.
And I thought that, I need to find or compose music that's a bit more children friendly, more educational in its use. So I came up with the idea of writing sketch music. And I did like to include artwork, but I wanted to find something less colourful, less cuddly, less cute.
Right.
And a friend of mine introduced me to Piero Pierini, who did this artwork, as well as artwork for my camp stories and other pieces as well, other books. And it just felt so right for the music.
And over time, of course, Musica Ferrum has produced more and more educational music. So if we look at sort of the next thing on this pile, we've got Ben Crosland's Cool Beans. Ben, I think, joined you a couple of years in, didn't he?
Yes.
And his books have been a huge success. We're seeing some different artwork this time.
Different artwork, similar to the style of Ben's music.
Yeah.
And also, this particular volume 2, was the first one to enter the exam syllabuses of the UK.
Right.
It was either 2014 or 15 that Trinity chose a couple of pieces from here to go in the syllabus.
I think Bao Chicken Wawa.
Bao Chicken Wawa, and I think the other was Cucumber.
Right, yeah. And his music obviously has been very successful in its own right, and through educational, exam boards and so on, picking it up. That must have given Musica Ferrum a much bigger exposure too in the process and helped you build the business more. It has.
And of course, Ben is never a static composer, apart from doing all the educational books. He's also composed a number of other pieces which are very popular on Spotify, and I enjoy the privilege really to be his publisher.
So the educational music that Musica Ferrum has produced has become a prominent thing, but not at the expense of the performance music that you started with, because of course you've had your project with 250 pieces for Beethoven. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. We met through a common friend with Susanna Kessel, who is the head of the project, of this whole project. And back in 2013 or 14, and she was, sort of toying with the idea of doing something like that.
Yeah.
And once we met, I flew all the way to Frankfurt in Musikmesse. And we found that we were a perfect match in terms of works and everything, and ethics. And we started working together. Soon she found the first 25 composers. So the first volume got out in 2015, I believe, November.
Right.
Which was the first year I actually moved back to the UK. So the company also left Greece and went and became a UK company.
Right.
Now it's a limited company in the UK.
Yes.
So that volume was followed by another 9 volumes,
Yes.
and a total of almost 1900 pages. English and German commentary, biographies, essays, everything you can imagine.
There's a massive achievement and a sort of, I guess, created as a legacy to some extent.
It is. It's a gift from basically the music community, because when you're talking about 260 in total, finally, composers sort of submitting and giving their thoughts and ideas and inspiration for Beethoven, then you can sort of say that this is truly it's a legacy of today's music, what's happening today.
There's some fantastic music in there too, and I've noticed you've got a new collection which is just some of the easier pieces selected from that project.
Exactly because a lot of the pieces might feel too difficult for the average pianist. We decided to publish a separate collection, or with some of the easier pieces. Of course, there's other pieces which might be easy, so on, but this collection might serve well the educational market as well.
I think one of the first books I ever came across was Fairyland in Treble from Musica Ferrum, one of your first publications, and your composition, of course, wonderful kind of cycle of pieces there. Tell us about that.
It was an effort to bridge my own past life and current life, to be honest, as a composer for computer games.
Yes.
And the life of a publisher and a piano teacher and a composer of that type of music. So I selected 11 works which are turned into duets, hoping that I'm going to provide music that's beautiful to play, easy enough for students to play with, or people who don't have much experience on the piano, but still without reducing the quality, the musical quality, or reducing anything from the musical content. So this is why they turned into duets, and I signed up with a couple of amazing collaborators. The one being Feli Ciparelli, who wrote 11 fairy tales based on the music.
Yeah.
And each one is quite unique in its own right. And then I also found Markus Krupa, who is I'm a fan of his music, of his artwork, and he drew a truly wonderful cover, which involves all elements from all 11 stories.
Right.
So that's a fun game to play with your students. Once you get the book, you go, can you find a dragon? Can you find where is that? Where is Nelly who's going to the moon and all that? What's
been the biggest challenges in all this? I mean, you've gone from just producing a few books that were black and white through colour, through artworks, to now sort of having a catalogue of 100 publications.
The one thing that I never sort of anticipated was the size of it, how it would grow. Thankfully, last year I signed an exclusive deal with Leonard about all the hard copies. So I gave out my warehouse, sent some 14,000 copies of music to their warehouse, and now it's their joy to distribute it and promote it.
A fantastic recognition in there as well, in the time that you've been, in the relatively short time that you've been a publisher, to get lots of pieces from your publications into its own syllabuses, and now to have the world's largest music publisher take on your catalogue and happy to represent it.
It feels, it really feels that what I'm doing is right. The way I'm doing things, how I'm presenting it, and how I'm taking my time to process everything, because I'm still trying to work in a very personal way, but this means that I'm also keeping my own standards as high as I'd like them to be.
I think we all struggle with some aspects of business, running businesses, because musicians, we're kind of training one thing. So it's great to have their expertise. So, that's a real milestone, I think. And,
it is truly. It was the next step.
Frees you up to do what you want to do, doesn't it? And do the creative stuff. So tell us about that. What's next?
Well, I keep publishing music, and there's Mosaic Volume 4 coming out, hopefully in the beginning of 2022. So that's a good thing. And we've added quite a few composers in the family of Mosaic.
Right.
So that's going to be very, very exciting to see coming out.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
There's also new books, other scores that are coming out by a Greek composer. And from my side, as a creator, more than just composer now, I've started designing some digital contents. The one being in the shape of a riddle / quiz.
Okay.
It's all about music. It's based on it's a browser game.
Right.
So it's based on the old tradition of browser games, and it works in a similar way. So at some point you will have to also play with the address bar, for example. So this kind of ideas. And this was a sort of a labour of love. There's no fee, there's nothing, and in the end you also get a free score if you manage to reach the end.
Oh.
Which is tricky, but there is a cherry in the end.
We all like a free score.
And then I'm also working on an app, a music training app, which can serve as a game.
Yeah.
It's called Music and Know.
Yeah.
No, it's not called that. It's called actually Hear and Know.
Right.
And it has to do with listening and recognizing music scores. And I've composed more than 50 pieces for that, recording them, and everything's working out, as well as other games, which I'm not going to say any more details.
Right.
But I can promise you that they are exciting. They have to do with music, so they're not unrelated.
It's an interesting departure in a way to come from the publishing to kind of this more interactive approach, but
it is the same way, because the end result for me is always, if a student, instead of playing Minecraft, plays Here and Now and listens to some music, and then eventually goes, I'd like to see that score, then that's a win for me as a publisher, as a composer, and hopefully a win for the student who's going to play something that's meant to be played that way, rather than a transcription of a Minecraft theme or any other transcription that can be poorly made.
Right. And for you, it's a full circle. Yeah, from games, from composing music for computer games to creating computer games for music.
True.
So yeah, what wonderful sort of circle that is, in a way. Yeah. Although, 10 years in, and clearly no regrets and lots of successes to celebrate. So well done.
Thank you.
Good luck for the next 10.
Thank you very much. It's a joy to be working with so many wonderful composers, including yourself, because you're part of the Mosaic family.
I am, yeah.
And it's truly a joy to feel the support of many people through what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the confirmation that what I'm doing is correct in a way, because it is a start. So you can't really say safely it's correct or not, but in this case it feels that it's at least okay.
Oh, I think so, yeah. More than okay. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.